Hey, this is Matt from the Nampa Hiker channel, and today I thought I would just, well, tell you about something really stupid that I did. I was holding a product that was given to me. I was given a set of carabiners that are the figure 9 carabiners that are good for backpacking and camping and whatnot by my dad. And I was looking at the package, and you know how when you buy things at the store, usually they come zip tied to a cardboard backing? Well, I had the bright idea that I was going to use my pocket knife, my very sharp Swiss Army pocket knife, to cut off those two different zip ties that were on there. Needless to say, it didn't work out very well. The knife slipped, it went through the package, and I proceeded to stab myself right in the hand. So, being the fact that I'm cheap, I decided I didn't want to go to the emergency room. It was a pretty deep cut. It wasn't a big cut, but it was deep. It was a puncture wound, and it was bleeding fairly profusely. So I grabbed a couple paper towels. This happened to be in my kitchen, and I proceeded to stop the flow of blood and put a band-aid on it, and I thought that it was fine. But since it was on the fleshy part of my hand, what kept happening is every time I would move my hand, the wound would open and it would start bleeding again, and I was just going through a bunch of band-aids. So I remembered something that I heard a long time ago, that you could use super glue to stop wounds like that. So I got on the internet and I wanted to verify that before I actually put it on an open wound. And I found out that super glue is basically the same as the suture glue that medics and doctors use at the emergency room. So one is regulated, obviously, by the FDA, the other one is not. But they're essentially the same thing. So I went out into the garage, I grabbed some super glue, and I took care of the problem. So let me show you my hand, and let me show you the products that I used and the system that I'm going to be employing in my first aid kit, both at home and also in the field when I'm backpacking. So check this out. Okay, so here is what I have on my desk here, and if you're wondering where I'm at my office. Right here, what I did is I grabbed two different bandanas from Walmart, and these are $1 each. I got green and I got camouflage, just because you know, I'm usually out in the woods and whatnot. But these are just $1 each, and the problem that I had at home is I was just soaking through paper towels with blood. And if you're out in the field, you might not have a whole lot to stop the blood flow with. Bandanas are good for so many different things. I thought, you know what, they hardly weigh anything. They're really small. They could be rolled up, you know, fairly tightly. I should just throw one of these in my first aid kit. So I just grabbed a couple of them. Again, they're $1 each. Super glue, I got this super glue at the dollar store, and it cost $1. And this is what I use to actually stop the bleeding, is this larger one. I also have these smaller super glue containers. I got this at Harbor Freight. It's a 3-pack, and one of them obviously is not there. It's in my garage. But I figured these would be perfect for, you know, my small first aid kit, for backpacks, a bug out bag, whatever. But let me show you my hand. So basically, I don't know if you can see it right there. It's a puncture wound. It's not very big, like I said. I don't want to sound dramatic, but the knife went in fairly deeply, and it was bleeding pretty bad. So, you know, after I stopped the blood, you know, the final time after taking all those band-aids off, I just put some super glue on there, and it didn't take long to dry. It took about 5 minutes, and it's been about, I don't know, 15, 16 hours, and I've had no bleeding. I've had no issues whatsoever. My hand, you know, I could use all my fingers. I could move, I could grab things. Everything is fine, and I have a feeling that if I would have gone to the emergency room, I don't think they would have given me stitches. I don't think it was quite that bad. I think they would have done exactly what I did. They would have put a glue compound on there, and they would have given me a bill for several $100s. So my tip for you is consider throwing in a couple of bandanas into your, or at least one bandana into your first aid kit, because you know it's good for a sling, it's good for a bandage, it's good for stopping blood, it's good for all sorts of things. And throw in some super glue, and you never know when you're going to need it. And also, you know, learn from my mistake. When you're using your knife, make sure you're always cutting away from yourself, not into yourself, and use the right tool for the job. I shouldn't have been using a blade to cut off those zip ties. What I should have been using is a pair of scissors or a pair of wire clips. But that's my tip. If you have another tip for, you know, your first aid kit, something a little out of the normal that might be good, leave a comment below and like this video if you found it helpful. If you didn't, tell me your thoughts, and let's get a dialogue going. But this is Matt from the Nampa Hiker channel. God bless you and happy trails.